Bye,
off.
voice.
Weird. Welcome to the Redeye stream number 235. Instead of this week having only one overriding topic, we're gonna probably have a few. We're gonna start with Syria, I believe.
Because
MC.
we're clever.
Yeah, MC. Go into Syria a little bit. Trump is pulling out, but France is remaining. France?
France and Great Britain and Germany are all saying how America shouldn't pull out because ISIS isn't defeated. America should stay there and help out. Oh, America is making a big mistake that they're going to pull out their 2,000 troops. To which I say, well, France, looks like you have a place. You've got a freaking military. Why don't you fill in an extra 500 or 700? And England, Great Britain, you can give 700. And Germany, you know what? You can send a Bundeswehr and put your 700 on in.
MC,
Batman.
But MC, France is busy. They need their troops to put down the Yellow Vest uprising.
You know, MC,
we have to talk about the Yellow Vest uprising too, because I got a story on that one as well.
When you were talking about this, you know, like this afternoon, you know, the idea, and you know my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, quarantine the whole fucking place. Any NGO ship that decides that it wants to try and save these people, you know, fucking give sayonara, you know. No, I mean, but there is no way that the British people actually want any of this. I mean, our governments are not representing us. You know that.
No, not.
Yours aren't. Ours aren't. Why would you think that the Germans aren't? Otherwise, why are they now, you know, fucking Merkel and, you know, all these other countries? You know, they've got the more. It's not right-wing uprising. It's just anti, you know, fucking socialism.
Natural reaction to an opposing force.
It's not just right-wing people it's basically people from every
walk of life.
Yeah, they're all
Hey there, you ginger hamster.
Hey, baby. Hey, Hemi. I missed you. How you doing?
How's it going?
Why do you have to cut across everybody? He's in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, I can cut across whoever I want.
Well, this is the Redeye.
Driving rules here now on the Redeye.
Starting out well, isn't it?
This is James Bond Maxwell has joined us here.
Just ignorance, no manners.
James.
No, there is no manners here.
By MADDS. He said, "Okay, Thursday at 4:00, so I'm here."
You have children. What are you teaching?
What am I teaching my children? I'm teaching them math and science and history.
No.
And how to talk over men. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
You can kiss my left ass cheek there, buddy boy.
Make me a summit.
So now does President Trump have a history of pulling out?
What?
Innuendo slung?
No. Does he have historical precedent for pulling out of different conflicts?
Not really, because he went into Syria. I mean, he was a penetrator.
He bombed already Syria as a warning, you know.
we were already in Syria. We already had troops in Syria. He did increase temporary, at least looks like
special operators.
And also, you know, fly over.
Wait,
don't forget that. Don't forget that argument.
Everybody hates America.
That argument. Don't forget the argument between America and Russia at the time when there was the sort of joint activities happening. Well, not joint ones, but where they were both in the same area
we
at
don't
the same
speak
time,
about those losses.
Okay, no. Now, is this reminiscent of Mission Accomplished? Is that what's going to end up happening?
This mission's not accomplished.
Well, I just pray to God that at least he takes that fucking, you know, his webbing off before he gets out of the plane. It doesn't look like you.
Just don't leave shit behind. Don't leave things behind, just like last time. I mean, it's fine that we pull out. Maybe it's better. I mean, all these men need to go home too. I mean, we're already like for 17 years in the desert there. Seriously, that's too long.
Yeah, sunburn. Think about it. Yeah.
Is the frog a Nazi? What's going on? What is this German crap or Dutch guy?
German crap? I would even close to German, man.
He proves the insult.
Ways of making you talk now.
Well, now then.
Meet Pepe.
Meet
So
Pepe.
if we remove the 1488 and Nazi Pepe memes, what's left?
Penguins. Penguins.
Wow.
Always the penguins.
Oh, the gorillas are in charge of them now.
Dick's out for Pepe. Let's go. Let's have a fun time.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, if we do that, James, you're going to have to tell everybody so we know yours is out.
I'll have to magnify it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, put that magnification you put.
Oh my god,
wouldn't you?
You're going to need a telescope for that one. I'm just saying.
You're going to need a scanner. Bring on the scanner.
Electron microscope.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay.
He keeps getting lost in his fur.
Well, as long as his fur
you should
isn't,
be worried. When your pubes are longer than your penis, you've got problems.
I'm thicker.
That's scanned out.
Hey, maybe
Eventually until he gets stuck in the fur and it's like stuck on the side and he can't pull it out.
I've got nothing, guys. I've got
Well, I think we've established that.
James von Maxwell, a Ken doll hamster.
Where the fuck is Quinn? Isn't he supposed to be in here moderating?
I don't know. He's freaking Waldo. Where's Waldo? I'm gonna rename this ADD stream. What the fuck?
The entire group is in.
Squirrel.
Okay, take your Adderall. Take your Adderall and calm down. We're still on
Bite
Syria.
my
people.
left ass.
Yeah. Well, are we going to have an actual conversation, or is it just going to be a general shit stream?
Well,
It's going to be a general shit stream, like always on Wednesdays.
There was a report.
Bullshit.
The media put out a major report saying that we were going to be in Syria indefinitely. A day and a half later, when everyone was talking about how we were going to be stuck in Syria and never leave, Trump issued his tweet saying, "We are leaving Syria. I'm ordering U.S. troops out of Syria."
He's trolling everybody,
as we know it. Yeah.
Thirsty.
I mean, we can't have some uneducated non-soldier removing troops from overseas. God forbid that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, no, it's much better you have somebody who's like Obama to put them in there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, Trump did the same thing.
There's another update that is very new on this issue, and that is MADDS is now saying that toward the end of this year he's going to leave as well.
Cubby.
Yeah, like February, I believe. Oh, was that it? Oh, hi there.
See, that's a little concerning because it is Mad Dog Mattis, aka the Warrior Monk, and he's supposed to be like one of the
one of the people laughing at.
It's all got what?
It's the mannequin that you love so much, Cabby.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just got it set to audio. I'm not seeing any presentation. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Don't worry, you're safe. It's okay, Cabbage. It's okay.
It's okay. I know it's all right.
It's okay,
you
Jacob.
can let your leaves down now.
I've already got my wank bank. It's good.
It's hot.
I'll send you a head of lettuce, Cabbage.
It's okay, Jacob. Dodge told me it's Thursday. I just got my days mixed up.
I'm allowed to abuse my my the lesser vegetables.
Pepe.
The mannequin got taken apart, Cabby.
There are two people questioning me things. What?
Cabbage, if you had children, would they be if you had offspring, would they be children of sprouts?
Well,
probably
they start off as sprouts. Yeah, start off as sprouts. Sproutlings.
What? What's that movie?
We're creating a new law here.
No. What was that movie with like the evolution thing, and the thing started to grow wings, and then it would fly away, and kill people? Oh,
it was actually literally called Evolution.
And now I'm thinking of Little Shop of Horrors.
No,
not Walmart's again.
Wait, no, don't dox Cabby's mom.
I am not a triffid. I'm not a fucking triffid, you prick. I'm a cabbage.
You guys are killing me here, right? Seriously.
No, we're not.
Can we get some order? Do I need to buy a gavel?
According to Jacob in the chat, Mad Dog is a die-hard Christmas movie.
Mad Dodge, get yourself a gavel, mate.
Oh, I read that
a
wrong.
Christmas movie.
Is Die Hard a
Come
Christmas
to
movie?
the coast. Have a little
No,
fun.
it's a
Of course it
movie.
is. No, it is.
It's a movie that happens to get played at Christmas.
It's
Takes place on Christmas.
Actually, Cabbage, it is set at Christmas, but I will agree with you that it is not a Christmas movie.
Nah.
Yes, it is.
It's a
Sure it
fucking
is.
Christmas
No,
movie.
No, you Brits are wrong on that one. No.
How is it a Christmas movie?
It has a happy ending.
Yeah, exactly.
It's played in fucking Christmas.
You guys couldn't be more wrong if you got
It is.
I mean,
It's made in Christmas.
when has Christmas ever ended
What's
up with
made in
anything less
America?
than a family fucking argument so that you never see each other for another year?
I love
Yeah,
that
that's
movie.
definitely
It
not
is
a
a
Christmas
Christmas movie.
Because it's made
Not the
during
Tony
Christmas.
Plaza,
movie.
man. Come on, it's great Christmas stuff. What are you talking about? Oh my God, what's a
That's
better
just
Christmas
like the
music?
Nightmare Before Christmas. That's just like the Nightmare Before Christmas. Is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Doesn't that make it a Thanksgiving movie?
Both?
Well, I'll take that too. No problem.
Does that
Oh, the
turn-
Hogfather. There we are. The Hogfather. There's
Okay.
a Christmas.
I'll go with both. It's just like 2 coins. You know?
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Why is Mattis leaving? Did he say, or
No.
is he just,
It's just
no?
nope. All we know is that Trump has tweeted that MADDS will be leaving. That's all.
Having a period.
Do you think? No,
I think
I'm
he's
thinking.
chicken and tired of
high
everything.
turnover rate in the Trump administration.
I'm thinking that he disagrees with this pulling out of Syria.
He might,
Mm.
Hmm.
Ain't
but but
Makes
at the
sense.
same time, he is not the
ha.
he's not the president.
Ain't Jack in the chat says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It has many Christmas themes and Christmas messages, such as family over material goods. Families are supposed to be together and such.
Yeah, but they were they?
Home
That's
for
the whole
Christmas,
fucking
that it? They're pulling out
He
before
spent
Christmas.
the
Everyone.
entire movie trying to save his family.
No,
but
they
they
tried to
weren't-
save
And
his
there's
Well,
wife.
Christmas
yeah,
trees and
yeah.
shit everywhere. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The building blows up and he's in a Christmas tree thing there.
Now,
in the pool.
trains,
Come on.
planes, and automobiles. Now, there's
Ah.
a fucking Christmas movie.
That's Thanksgiving, actually, but
I thought that
Is
took
it?
place.
Okay. Well, you know that
Lord.
works too. Close enough.
It's a Wonderful Life. That's a Christmas movie.
Temma, you're here.
Temma,
It's the
that's
most
Is
wonderful
Die Hard
time
a Christmas
of the
movie or
year.
not?
oh, is Tema here? Come on, join, baby.
Get in here,
Hang on, Mad
God,
Dog. Like, I mean,
Agonizing
once again, fucking.
Get to the chopper.
Temma,
Sugar.
sugar. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
Why
Yeah,
are
look,
we?
Jordy heard you.
Hasta
Mad
la
Dog.
vista, Santa.
What was the topic that you were?
I've been trying.
We're
to
talking
get onto?
Christmas music or Christmas movies. Come
Yeah,
on, what?
shut the fuck up and let Mad Dodge actually run his channel.
Well, I'm trying to
Temma
talk about
agrees with
Syria
most of
here.
us.
Oh.
Wait,
I'm trying my damnedest to talk about Syria here, but you guys just
Yes,
want to talk.
exactly.
Oh,
old is
it's
Well,
5
yeah,
days
some
until
people-
Christmas.
Well, you got the nuclear
up.
cabbage going off here, so what are we going to do about that?
Yeah,
Do you really think that I'm gonna
Yeah,
shut
Rich
up
hasn't been able
and
to talk with people
dodge?
all day.
You-
Yes.
It's pent up
Mad
aggression.
Bad
Mad
touch.
Dodge. Mad Dodge, do your thing, man.
Yeah, well, I already muted the woman. Okay,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, no.
hold on. Meek's an MC as well. Does that mean they count as the woman?
I didn't mute MC. Yeah, but
No, I
son of a
muted
bitch.
myself because I'm trying to take care of something. I'll be back.
All right. I think Mattis is leaving over the whole Syria thing. And if he thinks it's a bad idea to pull out, maybe Trump should take that into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did.
We should just pull out
Well-
of the Middle East entirely. Be perfectly honest.
Every
So how do you
time
mean?
one of you says pull out, I get a
Oh, my
really.
God.
Because
Yes,
you're
I
a
know.
pervert.
Yes.
Wait, hold
Staple?
on. Batman, are you saying we're done in the Middle East?
Just wear a rubber and pull out.
Put it this way: whenever
Well,
we go to the Middle East, we make things worse.
Done.
Well, I mean,
Come on, how can you make it worse? They want to live like they did in the 600, 600 AD or something like that, right? So,
before we started involving,
I mean, they want to live in the Stone Age. You can't bomb them back any further, can we?
Cabby, have you ever been to Dubai?
Before we went in there,
yep.
Before we started messing about in there, they were happy to fight amongst themselves. Now they're fighting us.
Exactly, which is why I always say quarantine.
If we left them alone, they'd probably be half dead by now.
You say that, Batman, but it seems like you didn't read very many history books.
Yeah, they do breed like rabbits as well, by the way.
Should we hold the sons accountable for the sins of the father?
No, he said that they would just stay there. They didn't last time.
They were,
exactly.
They were though before. And, that's also because the West was strong back then. It's not now.
Okay, so if the West is not strong, what's to prevent them from getting out?
The wall.
No, well, not only that, we're inviting them in.
The wall.
No, but we're inviting them in. We're bringing the barbarians into the fucking gates.
That's what we need. We need to build.
You can invite folks over for dinner. Just make sure the party is well planned out. Otherwise, it could devolve into chaos.
What the fuck are you on about, memes?
I can imagine you memes with some fucking gay party planner.
Hey, I'm using Tim's analogy here. I'm simply trying to improve upon his analogy.
Fuck off, you.
I can tell I'm onto something because it was a Tim Pool thing and it automatically
Shut the fuck up, memes.
Now I'm just imagining memes dressed in the most homosexual looking fucking suit you can imagine.
Okay,
dude, I was wearing my beanie all day. It's really warm.
Situation.
Yeah.
The reality is if we pull out, and when we pull out, all right, what does that leave? Well, that leaves a power vacuum, all right, to an extent, but it forces.
MC, I hate to cut you off there, but we already know who's going to fill it. It came out this morning that Putin and Turkey have made a deal over Syria.
Right.
So we already know who's going to fill that power vacuum. And now go ahead and
continue. We know
Putin is going in.
Shut up, you have nothing to contribute.
The only question would be whether or not. The biggest question was going to be whether or not Assad has enough stability in his forces to actually hold the population down. All right. And that's really what it comes down to. The vast majority of the population of Syria are Sunni Muslims. They're not Alawites. They're not Shia. Okay. So the question is going to come back at some point as to whether or not they can force compliance onto from the Shia group that Assad belongs to. Russia, of course, wants to go in there because they want to expand their influence. Turkey wants to go in there.
Shit.
Turkey wants to go in there because they want to expand, their control and hold down the control of the Kurds. Now, whether or not, either way, it doesn't affect the United States in any way, shape, or form. But it is something that people can be concerned about. But as far as ISIS being in control anymore, I think for the most part, they have one small enclave left, and that, for all intents and purposes, is going to be bombed out of existence by the Russians. You can expect it.
Can I make a comment to something Resistance said in the chat? He said that Islam was well ahead of, I think he means basically anyone when it came to science for a time. Kind of.
Babylonian stuff.
Yeah, kind of, but no, because all the knowledge that Islam had in the golden age of Islam, that's basically stolen from every other bugger that was unfortunate enough to be taken over by them.
Well, no, weirdly enough, Batman, they actually destroyed it themselves when they burnt down the library at Alexandria.
The second library.
Yeah,
because the Romans burnt the first one down.
Yeah, I mean, it got burned down about 3 times, didn't it?
Oh yeah, but the first time with the Muslims, they take anything they thought was useful and destroy the rest. So they destroyed a lot more knowledge than they preserved.
Yeah, because they had no idea what the fuck was useful and what wasn't. Well, they took away with a pencil and maybe a few bits of paper.
Well, no, and Rat Resistance followed that up. Why would there be a vacuum? Assad is in power, and he should remain in power until the Syrians get rid of him themselves. How exactly can they do that when Assad has the backing of Russia and now possibly Turkey?
Yeah, I don't get the idea that ISIS is just like a pocket. I mean, we know that these people are tribal anyway. They're all in little groups and stuff. So I think it's not going to re-emerge from different, like, you know, like because they work in pockets, right? They're in cells. They're all over the place. And then it's like a cancer. It just suddenly reappears again.
Yeah, because it is they're still a very tribal society.
Yeah, they just rebrand it. So it was Al Qaeda one day, and the next day it can be ISIS. ISIS. You know, just give it a new name. And I don't think the mentality is going to change anytime soon.
The initial push in Syria by the ISIL forces actually stemmed from Iraq. It was an extension of the power that they had created from Iraq, and they extended it into Syria. Iraq has basically exterminated that asset from out of Iraq. So now what's left are just a pocket or so of them left in Israel or in Syria. So that's the military situation for ISIL. Now that ISIL was one of the many players in the civil war against Assad. There were multiple groups fighting Assad. Okay, and Assad still has to, take total control over certain areas. While ISIS is not in charge of it, there are areas close to the border with Turkey that are actually now under the control of the Kurds, all right, or the Kurdish part of the Kurd groups, all right, and that is the concern that Turkey has threatened to invade that section of Syria several times to prevent any kind of increased power for the Kurds, because they've been fighting the Kurds since they've existed for all intents and purposes. So,
okay, MC, how long do you reckon Assad's got to survive? I mean, realistically, that he's going to retain power. I mean, Gaddafi, he had his highs and lows, and then a very big low.
Well, Assad there's no reason to think that Assad won't remain in power, to be honest. As long as the Russians are there, he'll remain in power, period.
Okay, so he's going to have to depend on Russian support, right? Yeah. So the minute the Russians pull out, then, I mean, he's done for.
One of the
Russians aren't going to leave.
One of the big problems over there is if to get rid of Assad, that won't stop the problem. They'll have to get rid of his entire family, because if he's gone, one of his family members will take over instead.
Yeah, but at that point, don't you need to rip out the entire political apparatus? And when we did that to the Ba'ath Party in Iraq,
that didn't work too well in Libya either.
Because didn't we disband the military too? Because most all of them were Ba'athists or something. So if all of a sudden,
it's just not repeating the same cycle. And that's why I was asking how long Assad's really going to survive, because it's just it's one of the same sort of processes happening over again.
Actually, I think America should do to the Middle East what they did to the continental United States. Just colonize it, force all the natives into reservations, and make it their own.
Yeah, bring over some Texans. They like that.
Great, so we start at the beginning again.
Said a man who can't go outside with a fucking spoon.
Texas is too fucking hot, Cabbage. I'm just saying.
Dude, Texas is freaking awesome. They
could have a winter home over there then.
I don't think you've been to Houston if you think Texas is a dry heat.
Well, how about this? What is wrong? Like, if Europe is trying to organize as the United States of Europe, like if they were to actually do that and actually vote on it between the individual nations, if that's what they wanted to do consensually, that's okay. Is there anything wrong with the United States of Arabia?
They wouldn't be able to do it anyways.
Why?
Too many old enmities, too many mistrusts, rivalries, grudges, vendettas, you name it.
Well, isn't that the ultimate goal of a lot of those folks? They want a united Islamic nation.
Okay. Okay, Papa Smurf. Now, why don't you go fix that?
Tema in the chat says, honestly, Assad is far more gentle than the common strongman of the region. I am highly doubtful he will be actively taken out. He's too popular in his nation.
He's a dentist.
Interesting word.
Oh, wait, was he in the Little Shop of Horrors?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
oh, my
Assad,
God.
Remember, Assad is an Alawite. The Alawites are a Shia sect. they comprise approximately 10% of the population. Over 70% of that population are Sunnis, and part of what if you want to use an overarching term, they're part of the Muslim Brotherhood. There have
playing
been
fucking music.
Not me. It isn't me.
Just a little
Damn you,
background sound.
James.
Is MC going to break out in a song here?
Yeah, I'm known for that.
It's like Bollywood. We're gonna just
Sing
do a
us
dance
a
number.
song, Mr.
It's
Boomer
like-
Man.
It's like when you're doing your fucking Smurf shit. Only James is making the music this time.
Oh, when I'm going into my La La loan.
I appreciate you calling that music.
I need to regrow my beard.
Chords.
Yeah, that was just strumming.
Well, thank you.
That was not
That's great.
music.
Anyway,
In other words, knock it the fuck off,
so
you
the idea
dumbass.
that they won't take out Assad and they won't
I'm there.
execute him and his
Yeah,
family, and that he's
whatever.
extraordinarily popular within Syria is kind of a misnomer.
He's a ruling minority.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes,
look
but
at
again,
Other
I mean,
option.
look at
Yeah, but I
Anwar
mean-
Sadat. He was.
But this is the
popular in,
problem.
Egypt.
But
They
unless
got
you
assassinated.
address the underlying problem, which is that this whole theocratic thing that these countries are operated under, these Shia Sunni, you know, I mean, it's a theocracy where the problem fundamentally lies. Unless they're going to go through a reformation and some form of enlightenment, then there's no point dealing with them, and they don't seem to be wanting to head that way anyway.
Yeah.
They want to
Well,
come over
Saudi
here and
Arabia.
enjoy our enlightenment. You know, they
And
want
destroy
to
it.
reap the
Wow.
fruits of our rewards, right? But they don't want to do it themselves.
Actually, they
Is
want to
it
come over here
keeping
and
things in line?
destroy what you call our enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, undermine our enlightenment.
I wonder
But,
who's pulling who out of the chat, Pepe or Sharadi.
Maybe it's a bit
But
Probably
It's
probably
sure.
Sharadi.
But
Fucked
no,
up everything.
okay, here's a positive though. If the United States pulls out of Syria, which it looks like we're going to, Russia and Turkey already made a deal over Syria, so they put down any resistance. The Syrian refugees can go home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason for them to be here. But the other
Yeah.
reason, you were wondering whether or not Mattis is upset about the Syrian issue. I don't think so. I think he's more concerned with, because Trump also announced massive troop reductions in Afghanistan.
Did he?
I think
Where
he's
did he
more
do
concerned
that?
about that. He
I'm
did
more
that today
concerned
as well.
about the fucking bump stock ban. What other kind of gun bans that's going to lead to?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a better weapon, but this is about actual people who are living in, you know, I mean, like your American troops who are in Afghanistan. I think that's a
Yeah,
little
they're
bit more
coming
important
home, though.
than you. Well,
They're coming
no.
home, though.
Yes, but MC, when was it that happened? Because we saw no news of that over here.
He announced that
They
just,
kept that
just a
quiet.
few hours ago.
Oh, right. Okay. No wonder why then. Okay. I thought that was like a more historical one.
Now, the question, of course, there is okay, so you're announcing a withdrawal. Okay, well, how many troops? What's it going to take? Afghanistan, let's be quite honest, is not stable yet. So to announce a withdrawal at this point probably wasn't the best idea. Now, I can see Mattis being upset about making that announcement. As far as Syria goes, I don't think he cares about Syria.
Yeah, and the
What
thing
if it's a lie?
The thing which I'm thinking was, US pulls out of Syria. Russia makes a deal.
What do you mean? What if it's a lie?
Hold on. Yeah, you said Russia's going to make a deal with Turkey if the US pulls out of Syria. I can see when everything gets sorted out, Russia turning around and stabbing Turkey in the back.
Of course.
What do you expect? It's power play. It's called geopolitics, mate.
So Russia would get Syria, then they would get Turkey. And that would actually solve a lot of problems in the West as well.
They can't. Russia can't touch Turkey. Turkey is in NATO. There's no way Russia could fuck with Turkey as long as they remain in NATO.
Yeah.
How long do you think they're going to remain in NATO?
Long enough to settle the Syria thing out. They're not stupid.
I think you'd be surprised at how fast we can get out of NATO.
The thing is, though,
Us or them?
The thing is, though, if Turkey's working with Russia, they're working against the interests of a fellow NATO member. Surely that's against the rules of NATO.
Okay, but if NATO, let's be perfectly honest. If the United States pulls out of NATO, and whether you like it or not, one of the big sticking claws that Trump has brought in is the fact that he's not happy with the NATO and NATO leadership. If we
US
pull
is
out of
the founder
NATO,
of
Yeah, but I mean, they wanted to
NATO.
dismantle.
They can't pull
but
out
they-
of NATO.
But they,
all
yeah,
right.
but they wanted
They're
to
the
dismantle
founders.
NATO anyway, right?
NATO is
But I
founded
mean, I
in
thought the whole
Washington.
point was.
Go
I
ahead.
thought the whole
Pepe.
point was that NATO was going to be defunded.
NATO is founded in Washington. They can't pull out. That's ridiculous. NATO is a force that's given to Europe during the Marshall Plan after the World War II. But US is the founder of it, so they can't just pull out.
No, but they'll kick everybody else out.
That's exactly the one thing they can do is they can actually say,
They can
"Fuck
pull-
it, we're leaving."
They can't pull anyone
No,
else out.
they
though.
own it.
They
own it. They can say, "Fuck it, we're closing shop."
well, they could
That's
disband
how it
it.
works.
They could disband it that everyone is going out. If they could do that, like just break it up.
No. What
That's
they're
what
doing
Trump
is no.
pulls out, then there's pretty much no more NATO, right?
There's
So
no more NATO. It's like every country individual.
Well, which is why the European Union is now pushing for a European army, which apparently was not going to happen.
Which is
before
NATO.
Brexit, but then suddenly it was going to happen before.
Well, the European Army, one of the reasons what they're saying it's for is to defend them against the United States.
Yeah, exactly. They're fucking lunatics. I swear to God. Yeah, but that's Van Hofstad. I mean, he's fucking drunk every afternoon. I mean, but why about nuclear completely?
Well,
hit
yeah.
those?
Yeah, he's drunk. That means he's probably letting out stuff that he shouldn't be letting out. And I'm saying,
This
what
is
the hell
what
are
I
you
mean.
doing?
But the thing is, right, they don't even need to disband it and just say no. All they got to, I mean, which is exactly what Trump said, is no, you pay your own way. So we're not going to fund it to the amount that we are, So everyone has to pay their way and we're not going to subsidize it anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, let's take a look at certain aspects of it. First of all, you have the British military. How large is the British military? All the British military,
not very
armed
big.
forces, and the police force total. How many people are in it? Would you estimate?
Oh God, what I mean in terms of troop force? I mean, what you mean viable? I mean, what we could put into the field immediately.
All of your police and all of your military, all right, including
All
your
of the
Air
king's
Force.
horses and all of the king's men.
Yes.
Well, the
women.
police aren't part of
And everything in between.
Yeah, the police aren't part of our military, but I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are, but it's very small.
Well, the British
Tiny.
Army comprises of just over 81,500 trained regular full-time personnel.
Yeah,
Okay. 81,000 in Army and Navy. Could you say that it was probably half that?
Probably more than that. Hold on.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, no, because we generally that's more in Navy, because we're
Okay, so we'll say we'll just call it the same. So that 81,000 Army, 81,000 Navy, and half that for the Air Force, 40,000 Air Force, right?
Yeah, around that.
Okay.
33,450.
Okay.
Really, that's small for the Navy.
And that includes 7,000 Royal
Wow.
Marines.
Holy shit!
So even with that,
That's pitiful.
you're 3,000 for that, or 30,000 for that, or 34,000, and then another 34,000 for your Air Force, right?
We're not going to have enough troops to put on the fucking aircraft carriers that we're buying.
but if you total that up, you're about 150,000 standing military, right?
Yep.
And that's without talking about your police force and so forth.
And the territorial.
France, which has actually got a population just a little bit larger than yours, total with the police force is estimated at 89,000.
We could still take them.
Oh yeah, no, we can still fuck up France anyway.
No,
anyway,
what I'm
Europe.
pointing
I
out-
mean, we
what I'm
can.
trying to
I mean,
point
look,
out
we
is-
could fuck up France just by going
With
over.
the Legion count? With the Legion?
We could
With the
fuck
Legion.
up. We could fuck up France.
I mean, that's
with
France, too.
Geordies alone. All you
I
have to
think
do is send
what
over
MC
a
is
Geordie
implying-
patrol.
That's one of the amazing things about France.
Is that why Europe wants a European Union army? Because right now the individual standing forces seem to be quite low.
Very low.
That's
They're way
different.
lower than they should be to defend their own nations.
That's
and
the
it's
interesting thing
time
about France.
that they plus themselves up.
So that's the interesting thing about France. So its most renowned military force is made up of foreigners.
Well, not all of the French Foreign Legion are foreigners.
I heard their World Cup team was African.
I bet they still wear them.
That's right.
See, I bet they still wear them silly hats as well.
They may wear their silly hats, but the reality is that the French are
silly hats and
their forces. Their forces are underfunded. Germany's forces are underfunded. And the reason for it is because
Willy Wonka.
The reason for it is because they've lived under the umbrella that's been provided for them, the security by the United States, all right, and like it or not, Great Britain to a large extent.
Yep.
So
from the EU itself, though, I mean, the decisions that the EU makes, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're not at our side. It's not only the UK.
But the thing is also coordinating. If you want to create a European army, it's all well and good. I mean, look what a fucking mishmash it is to begin with. Then you've got to try and create an integrated, defense system. You got to get all these people talking. I mean, it's the fucking Tower of Babel all over again. You know?
Yeah, but when it comes
and the thing is, they'll all end up having to speak English, and then we can all hear what they're saying. So
when it comes to size of the military, the UK has always had a comparatively small force compared to other countries, and it's just had a much bigger impact. That's all.
Okay.
Because we go for that force multiplier concept.
Yeah,
you know,
even at the height of empire, we had a small force. Even there with the amount of manpower we could have drawn on.
No, it's a waste of money. It's expensive. Okay. Military is expensive.
The chat is asking if the Ukraine is in NATO. No, they're not. The chat seems to think they are, but no.
No, they're trying to get in.
Their government is founded by the EU, so yes, they are in NATO, but not in the European Union. Thing.
No, they're not.
I
don't think so. I'll look up
the NATO names right now.
No, they are not. We think why they have war now. Okay, there is an entire war about it too.
Yeah, they were part of the Warsaw Pact, so I can't see them being in NATO even now.
No. There was a lot of European interference with, during the Crimean thing that happened. I mean, suddenly a bunch of Nazis appeared out of nowhere, fully armed and, ready to overthrow the government and stuff. Nobody knew, where did these people come from? And I looked into this, like, at the time when it was happening. And I went back to as many newspapers as I could find for like 10 years. And I couldn't find a single thing about any major Nazi presence in the Ukraine. And all of a sudden, a Nazi group suddenly appears, fully fucking prepared to overthrow the government. Yeah, bullshit. Very dodgy.
Well, just kind of like when Vladimir Putin was asked about why are there Russian soldiers on the border of Crimea? He's like, no, there are no patches on those uniforms. So there's some lads taking over.
That was the most funny moment ever.
Their arms.
That's so fucking obvious.
That is the boy scouts of Russia.
They were on holiday. Just as the holidays.
They're just children.
And there's your proof, guys.
There you go.
What?
That Ukraine is not in NATO, or else we would already be at war with Russia. With what they're doing in the
I'm actually surprised Romania's in there.
I'm surprised that Poland's in there.
Yeah, or the Czech Republic.
It's the Second World War.
Oh, yeah.
Poland, turned around, because they were first the Germans, and they then turned around, and now they're like cool with us all. It's so cool that the Netherlands is cool with it.
Yeah.
What was that, Pepe? It's so cool that what?
It's so cool that the Netherlands is full with Polish people. They all work there for free, while the Dutch people are just like in the shit. Yeah, it's cool, man. There, it's living there.
But to be honest with you, I mean, think about it. The Polish have been fucked from both sides constantly. They've never got a break out of life, mate.
You guys, here's where everybody's getting confused. NATO partner countries are right there, Ukraine.
Yeah,
but they're not a member.
That's what I say, right? That's exactly what I say.
It's not a member.
Not a member, but
exactly.
Look,
Russia
is on the NATO.
What is the Ukraine contribution?
That's what you say, Kevin.
What is the Ukraine contribution to NATO?
Nothing. Actually.
What is Russia's
There you go. So
contribution?
they're not a part
Russia
of
is
it.
a partner country.
But that's what you, Cabbage. It's exactly what you're saying. It's interference of the EU. That government that was established in the Ukraine, that was a European government, a social government. You know, so there is your thing, man. It's exactly what you say, Cabbage. You're right. Europe, too many European interference, and Russia went in there simply to get it back. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, that's Russia, but they were like, nope. These are insurgents, you know what I mean? That's exactly what you say, Cabbage, and that's why I'm saying they are sort of in a NATO, but they're not really in a NATO. It's more like Europe actually tried to invade Ukraine. That's what it is, and that's what it is.
Hey, is secession allowed in the Ukraine constitution?
Wow, I don't know anything about the Ukrainian constitution. So seriously, tell me about it.
Because I heard Crimea. The thing was, like, a lot of those folks, they used to be Russian. A lot of those folks, upwards of 90%, identified as Russian. And about when they voted on it, I heard it was a very.
So
high
I would
percentage.
say just give it to them, man. Just give it to the Russians. I don't give a shit. I don't even give a shit about the entire Eastern Front either. You know,
Russia Crimea.
No, but that's the thing. That the whole point of Ukraine was it was meant to be a buffer zone. You know, like a sort of a no man, effectively a country that is a no man's land. You know, between Europe and the thing is that Europe has been constantly encroaching east all the time. Or NATO, I should say. It's not Europe itself. I mean, just
I mean NATO. Yeah.
Different countries got independence. That the issue has always come in with the military aspect of it. So if you affiliate. So, I mean, Poland can become part of Europe, but, it's part of Europe when it goes independent and it just becomes, what it is. But when it becomes part of NATO, then it becomes part of a military, infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference, then it rolls forwards. Now, if Ukraine and the influence that Europe did with Ukraine was a fucking stretch too far. But it was interesting when they did it. That Ukraine thing, when that all kicked off, like I said, very questionable. Nobody, and like I said, I did a lot of research on that one, going back like 10 years in newspapers, looking for anything to do with Nazis in the Ukraine. Nothing. Then the Nazis were meant to appear, right? But the thing was, but if you looked at the time when that was happening, when all the shit kicked off, it was a perfect. I mean, it was a perfect.
That's I know the history of
Swastika. Yeah, but I'm saying it was a perfect time to distract people from what was going on in the Middle East. In Syria and places, in North Africa, because then people were focused on the Ukraine. And then suddenly, in hindsight, people were saying, hey, hang on, we've been focused on the Ukraine so long. What's going on in North Africa? And then all of a sudden people would say, oh my God, all these things have been going on while we've been paying attention to this. Yeah, so they did a bait and switch. It was the magician thing. Look at my left hand while I'm doing stuff with my right hand. That's what happened.
Here you have it. And it's logic too, because, if you think about it, the Navy of Russia is in the Black Sea. So Russia has an interest in the entire area too. So it's logic that they would take it over, because that's the only entrance the Russia has basically towards, more towards Europe and stuff to defend these places. And for the rest, they have the other side. But yeah. I mean, the other side.
Well, Crimea is their deep. Crimea is their deep port. For their navy. So of course they're going to defend it. Of course they would.
They would. It's logic, and I already thought that by the time. It's logic, and I don't give a shit. Last time, you remember Georgia? Same shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
same shit.
Yeah, and again, look at the timing of that.
Yeah,
extremely useful at the time because there was something else going on at the same time as that.
And people then say, maybe Russia is taking back its own, empire or so.
No, when was the last time Russia actually invaded somewhere, and occupied it?
That was the last time they went to Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was
exactly. Afghanistan. And when was that? So
it was somewhere in the 70s or so. Whatever.
No,
wait. Are you saying that they're not invading the Ukraine?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that they are not an empirical force. They're not going out, but they're not empire building at all.
Something I remember seen on a history documentary. This guy's saying that after the Second World War, up until now, really, the world had a lot of little wars here and there, and this guy reckons that might be why we haven't had another major war.
No, the thing is, Russia doesn't need to fight that way.
Yeah.
They're doing it through society. They're doing it sociologically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look at all of our, look at the universities, look at the teachings that are going on. I mean, all the liberal arts and all this sort of shit. I mean, the Marxism and the neoliberalism and all the other shit that's being taught. They don't need to fucking throw they don't need to go bombing anyone. They don't need to do anything. Yeah, so they can work from the inside out. They don't have to come in, blatantly.
I mean, in the 60s, how many of those hippie leaders were found out to be actually getting paid by...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this sounds strange to you guys, but I kind of trust Putin. And seriously, I do. Seriously.
I think that might be a foolish move.
Did you look deep into his eyes? Like,
I know who he is. Come on. You shouldn't fuck with him. I know it. But the thing is that you shouldn't fuck with him. What? You better do it.
If you look into those eyes, I think a wise man once said, "Trust but verify."
Yeah,
exactly.
I think Putin's the guy who's going to fuck you over. He'll say he's going to fuck you over.
I think that we can trust.
Well, if you fuck him over, he's gonna fuck you over. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right. Let us.
What was that, Rat?
But yeah, I think we can trust Putin as so far that he doesn't. He understands that he shouldn't be attacking any NATO countries.
We
can trust him that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to, because that's the whole point.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He. Sorry.
He's already subverted them with the socialist, mentality. I mean, Europe is socialist.
I think he enjoys the power he has over his part of the world enough so that he don't want to risk getting unseated by America, basically.
He'll never be unseated by America. That's not even feasible. Yeah, but it's not even feasible that he get unseated. He doesn't even need to anyway. But like I said, but the point is. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, maybe I play Civ 5 too much, but I say if Russia's already a member, not a member, but a partner of NATO, why not just invite them in and let Russia take China? We could have Western Europe, and we divide the world amongst the two countries.
Fuck Europe, seriously, mate.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Ignore Europe, mate. They are fucking toxic. They have been the bane of Britain's life since the beginning of time. All right.
Why?
How long have you got? Holy shit.
Why? Wait.
What? Napoleon, Kaiser, Hitler.
All right. It's like.
I mean, Merkel. I mean, how many times do we have to pull your shit out of the fire before you actually do something for yourselves? And you all work on Napoleonic law. Right, which is where you can only do what you're allowed to do. You're not allowed, it's not the other way around. We work on common law, right? Totally different systems. No, you've been the bane of fucking Britain's life, and we never get any fucking thanks out of you. What about we go in, where, you get stormed over, you end up getting invaded, and then we have to come in with America and free you up. And then, do you get any thanks? Do you fuck?
Bloody hell!
Cabbage, you seem to
Europe
forget the fact
is toxic.
Cabbage,
Europe is toxic.
Coming to the point.
Hold on, let Rat speak.
Yeah, you seem to forget the fact that France has won more wars than any other country on earth.
Yeah, but only because they go and fight a bunch of fucking pygmies or something. They don't win anything significant.
Oh no!
Can you tell me what the last war is that they won?
The
Can you tell me what the last one they won was?
Yeah,
it was a great pygmy war. It was a great pygmy war of 1866.
I think the last war that the French won was the 100 Years' War, wasn't it?
So it took them 100 years.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the French. That was actually Normans, which were from Scandinavia. They were more Viking than they were French.
Yep. These motherfuckers. Oh wow. these motherfuckers also attacked us a lot. A lot of heavy traffic.
Wouldn't you technically be able to count World War II in there? They just had, a break for a couple of years.
No, the French decidedly
after they were freed, they won.
No, the French
great French victory.
Yes. MC, think about it.
Yeah.
French got knocked out early.
Charles de Gaulle was a fucking pain in the arse.
The French were the first people who lost World War II.
Yeah, but no. What I'm saying,
actually, that's true.
You know what they're successful at doing is...
Czechia too. Czechia was first.
What I'm saying is that they basically lost and then they had a break and then they came back at the end.
Well, yeah. So, and then eventually, well, I mean, La Resistance did a couple of things. I mean, you got to admit the Resistance was all right.
And
there were a few of them that had some balls, but I mean, it was pretty few and far between.
The Resistance didn't do anything.
Napoleon.
No, they did. No, you got to give them credit.
Napoleon didn't exactly lose the majority of his wars, did he?
Napoleon? No, but that's the whole point.
Nazis screwed over the Muslims.
He was a Cypriot.
What?
He
was a Cypriot.
He was a Corsican, not a freaking...
Yeah, he was a Corsican.
Corsican, okay, Corsican, right, sorry.
Yeah,
but either way, he wasn't French.
He was the French emperor for quite a while.
Yeah, he was a French emperor, but he still wasn't a French.
Exactly, the French had to import some balls. And then they fucked that up.
Oh, shit.
This is why Europe won't... United Europe wouldn't work, because no country in Europe... Yeah, they've all got rivalries. They've all got little things to get back at each other for, and nobody trusts the Germans.
I swear to God, I want to turn Britain.
No wonder too, man.
I want to turn Britain into Fortress Britain and just say fuck you, Europe, 100%, because sick and tired of all your fucking horseshit. We keep on doing it time and time again, and it's kind of like with the Muslims and that, right? Just let them fucking fight amongst each other like bloody children.
It's true.
So England should just pick up anchor and just shove off into the Atlantic.
Fucking hell, we could, man.
Get out of my earth. Shoot.
I would switch the United Kingdom's place with Jamaica. Jamaica can be up here, and we can be where Jamaica is.
Jamaica.
No.
Yeah, man.
You leave Jamaica
Going
alone.
for the Jamaican thing, man. Ah, yes.
Hold on a minute.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I'd put it down.
Wait, I think I still have a how to speak Jamaican pamphlet.
I can't wait till you try to sit up to replace them on Northern Ireland. That would just
no, that's the whole thing, right? No, we move it. We ship ourselves down to Gibraltar, and then we, bring Northern Ireland with us. You see, you bring
Gibraltar. You realize Gibraltar is a rock, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like an island, isn't it? So we have an island, you see. We're maintaining an island.
It's a rock.
We had to build on a rock and not on stands, according to the Bible.
Cabbage? No, that's a bad idea, because we went down there, we'd end up being the bridge from North Africa to Europe.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the fucking NGOs would be all over us. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, no, I'm going to Caribbean.
MC disagreeing with Project Rock at this point. Now I'm concerned.
MC Kevin's living on a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got to take Gibraltar with us, right?
Yeah, the entire
assets alone, and also bring the Falklands up.
But I'm going to make you general, and I'm going to let you take that thing what you want. Man, I can't even pronounce that shit now. Take it. It's yours. I'm going to make you general.
Asses, you don't even know where they're located.
We got people sitting
Gibraltar.
Giant wrist game here on the
Gibraltar. Yeah, no.
Well, so we take Gibraltar.
That's it.
We float away from Europe, take Gibraltar with us, and then we meet up with the Falkland Islands, and we all make a nice little chain of islands, down in somewhere.
And how do you?
Yeah, we asked the Dutch to. We asked the Dutch to blow some sand on it, on the water parts and stuff, and then we have a nice island.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Blow some sand on it.
Everybody knows.
Never. Sand blowing.
Everybody knows that islands float, so get all the Brits to line up on the coast with oars and make this shit happen.
Hey, Mad, what do you think those wind farms on the East Coast are for?
There you go.
Oh,
You
nice.
see? We're just working up energy. We're just going to get enough momentum going. It's just it's building up. Don't be
Green
kind of
electricity.
quick.
They're not turning because of
energy.
wind power. They're turning because of.
Hey, Rad, this should work in your favor because then you can claim the entire North Sea.
Save the planet. Save the seas.
Hey, can you imagine if you could actually?
Save the fishes. Save the bees.
Can you imagine if somebody has other way to travel between different quantum realities? You could actually find alternate universes where no intelligent life had started, and every country could have their own fucking planet Earth. We wouldn't even have to bother with each other.
Wait, hold on. Do we live inside the box, Batman?
No, please don't go into your fucking, virtual reality.
That question,
yes,
though.
And we're all living in a box.
Doesn't matter if we live in the box.
We should step out of it. I mean,
Okay,
we should really step out of it.
Fucking hippies.
Yeah.
So we're Schrodinger's cat.
On the hippie note, we're gonna move on to bump stocks because hippies hate bump stocks.
They do?
They do.
Yeah, they have allergies. They have allergies.
I thought they went there in 1969. Oh wait, that was
But all right, MC.
That would have been
President
much more
Trump-
interesting.
President Trump is
get off my goddamn lawn!
Oh, okay. President Trump is throwing the Democrats a bone here. Everybody knows bump stocks make your firearm inaccurate, and they're really just to go out and have fun on the range. I mean, seriously, that's all they're for. So they don't really do anything.
Actually, I think it'd be better if President Trump.
No, hang on, let him finish his fucking introduction to the topic.
Oh, I'll do it have to.
Yes, Batman.
Yeah,
and not because you're Batman, but simply because he's the Mad Dodge.
But no, that's all Trump is trying to do here is throw them a bone. I don't even know why politically he thinks that he should, because they're not going to throw him a bone. He's not going to get his wall. He just had to veto their spending budget today. He's not going to get anything he wants, so why give in to them?
Yeah.
MC.
Better for throw the Democrats a live hand grenade than a bone.
Well, no, I think MC has gone over this. Did you not listen to MC's afternoon stream?
I've been dealing with rabid kids all morning, so no.
Ah, well, you should have done. MC, would you like to give him an update?
On the bump stocks?
Well, no, on the, what he was just saying.
I connected the bump stocks with President Trump giving the Democrats something they want, so maybe they'll do the political game and give.
No, he was saying that he's not getting the wall.
The fact is that they're not going to. This isn't a political game with bump stocks versus the wall. The wall. Trump basically played the Democrats on the wall, and he also played the media. Right, and to be honest, he basically smashed frickin' Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell in the face, saying, "Look, this is something you guys promised me you would do. You've had 2 years, a year and a half to do this. You didn't get it done. It's on you to fix it. I'm not signing this," and threw it right in their face. The fact that he had people hinting at, well, there might be ways around this and things like that, everyone thought he had caved, and he basically pulled the rug out from under him. All right, so it has nothing to do. Now, the bump stock issue is something that Trump has said, and just like when Trump says something about a lot of this stuff, when he's being very specific, right, he says we need to look at that. And what he did is he set up there and instructed the ATF to look at whether or not these things should have been classified as quote-unquote automatic weapons so that they could be listed as a ban on automatic weapons. And the ATF has said that they're going to attempt, all right, to reclassify bump stocks as an illegal modification to a weapon that then turns it from a semi-automatic to an automatic.
Hang on. So they're going. Hang on. What they're going to try to reclassify?
Yes.
So there is so there's already a mission of intent
Yes, because it's being defined by a regulatory body in the government rather than go through the legislature.
So it's not a question of are you going to look at it as an actual, autonomous thing, or are you just trying to prove my hypothesis? Is this retrospective hypothesis proving?
Well, this is like a violation of ex post facto. No, the thing is, they're retroactively classifying something as illegal. So if you did actually have a bump stock for your firearm, if it was legal before, it is now illegal. Isn't it illegal to declare something illegal after something is passed? You can't charge someone with that, right?
Question.
Gone.
Because the thing is that some of the states, they say that you can't have guns, right? Well, there is a Second Amendment.
Not states, but I mean districts. Or
counties. I never, as a European, I never understand why all these states are just so against each other. I never understood that.
What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about? Europe.
Europe doesn't have guns. Only Sweden has guns, man. Oh, and maybe Scandinavia. Yeah, Sweden. There you go. Only Sweden. Switzerland too. Yeah, Switzerland too. Yeah, they have guns too. But
but they're not European anyway.
For the rest, nobody has guns.
No, but what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter. But you were talking about conflict. Right, it doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have to have guns to have a conflict. I mean, look at the fucking European Union. We now have the biggest breakdown of the so-called the idea that the European Union was designed to prevent future conflicts or whatever. Well, we now have more fucking more conflicts between different European countries. I mean, even in regions. I mean, you've got Andalusia now coming out in southwest Spain. You've got things going on in Catalan. You've got the northern Italy, provinces which are kicking off. I mean, now you've got the European Union demanding that Switzerland should effectively join the European Union. Otherwise, they won't allow them to ship stuff, I mean, it's fucking retarded. Right?
It's a business. It's a business, man.
But the whole point that they claimed the European Union was about, the common market when it first started, was that it was going to, create some kind of sangual environment that we're all going to live, making daisy chains and shit. And look at where we are now. Greece is a fucking. I mean, what? I don't even know how to describe.
They're defunded.
Greece is
they're defunded. They have nothing. They're broke. They're just like entirely bled out.
It's worse than that. The EU have turned Greece into an Islamic ghetto.
It all started with the euro. It all started with changing the currency. That was a bad decision.
Well, why
do
you think
Britain
maintained its currency? Exactly.
Because
of this fucking bullshit.
This would happen because the euro is the same design as the dollar, so it's meant to be depleted. You know what I mean? So everything goes up while the euro actually goes down in worth, and that's so nice.
Well, you gotta back it with something.
And we can still use it. Yeah. Let's use the petrodollar.
But look at it now. But this is the whole point. The European Union has achieved absolutely fuck all in terms of its mission statement.
Absolutely fuck all of anything positive. Yeah.
In fact, it's been counterproductive because now you've got countries which are actively fucking pissed off with Germany again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
Even the Germans,
and they want to create a fucking Euro army for fuck's sake. I mean, this whole thing. The one thing which really fucking disappoints me with Europe is that at least if one of those countries had shown a degree of backbone when Britain did Brexit, I mean, Poland and Hungary has probably been the more more forerunning, but nobody. I'd at least thought Greece would have stood up and said, "Yeah, fuck it, we'll come with you." You know what I mean? And we would have helped them out afterwards as well. It's like, okay, brothers in arms.
Yeah.
Italy. I mean, it's not like they're getting anything out of the European Union.
Well, I don't think anyone.
But nobody else has got a fucking spine. That's what I mean. Europe is a fucking worthless, toxic.
It's true.
Dump. They got nothing, and they create nothing but problems, and it always stems out of Germany and France.
It's where a totalitarian entity can rise again. That's what it is.
Belgium. And like I said, New Belgium.
You're gonna stay Belgium?
You know,
fuck Belgium.
Give it to Netherlands and France.
You know, France and Germany.
Give it to the Dutch and to the French, okay?
France and Germany, it's just like when you get two neighbours. One of them's really butch and the other one's
good hair.
Yeah, screaming homosexual. There's always fucking arguments in that street. That's France and Germany.
It is. You see, the Dutch
Netherlands too. The Netherlands too. Right? They're gay too. Don't worry about it.
But the Dutch are cool.
Okay,
you know,
the
Denmark
Dutch
is cool. Well, exactly, and that's what I mean. You know, so they're basically ineffective.
Right? Rose made of water.
They've neutralized themselves. I mean, they turn themselves gay. Okay? Yeah, they turn themselves gay.
We're just like almost gonna drown and stuff. We're just still survive and stuff. We're pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And the great thing is, with Holland, it doesn't take a lot to fuck them up. All you got to do is a couple of well-placed bombs, and those dikes are fucked.
Yep.
Well, we survived.
You know?
Hey,
that's why they call us cockroaches. You know?
Don't they have a self-destruct plan? Like, if they ever get raided, they'll just like flood the entire city.
Yeah. And it is actually that worked in the Second World War too. It slowed them a bit. It slowed them a bit down.
Yeah,
but you know,
Holland is
eventually
it killed the Germans down for what?
Stuff, you know.
Holland is
how many days?
Sorry, what were you? Sorry, Pepe. Yes. Pepe, you were trying to explain what happened in the Second World War with the dikes.
Well, the thing is that the Netherlands have a couple of defense lines. You know, just an entire region of defensive, and we mostly have like a dry part where everything, you know, is lower, and we have a higher part, so a couple of dikes, and within the dikes, we call that polders, you know. We can flood that if we want. But we also have like sort of kind of entire, just the Grebbelinie is that. That's just like entirely full with tank obstructions and stuff like that. But if we flood, we never actually flood it. And we actually, you know, we don't even use it anymore actually. But we can still use it. I mean, but why would we and stuff like that? But in that time it was necessary because the thing is, they were just like there already. Like they were there on our door like 4 o'clock in the morning, man. Like 4 o'clock in the morning, they were there like meow, parachutes and stuff, you know, and stuff like that.
Hey,
the Germans were the first ones who did paratrooper stuff. Can you imagine? And then Americans were later like, hey, that's a good idea. We're gonna do it too. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. Where were the British troops at? Why weren't they in?
They were not there. They were not there. They were like in Belgium.
In Belgium.
No,
they were in Belgium.
But why weren't they in? Why weren't they in the Netherlands?
Because we didn't have enough. There was only like what was the
war started.
The
Germany and
said the same thing they said.
Germany and UK not in war. Germany and UK was in war.
Any Allied troops in here because that might invite the Germans in.
Voice. Germany was in war with UK, so that's why the UK was in Belgium.
Okay.
And UK not sort of kind of some interest in the UK, in Belgium as well? Was not that it? I don't know what it was.
I think the major fact to point out is if the U.S. actually stole paratroopers from the Germans, is that cultural appropriation?
Well, no, Pepe, no. That what happened was we had an agreement that we would be we recognise their independence, and we told Germany, if you invade Belgium, then we're at war. That's what we told them. They invaded Belgium. That's why we went to war.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
That makes sense, you know.
It's not complicated. It's alliances, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And you either stand by them or you're done.
And we told them, hey, we want to be neutral, just like in the First World War. We don't want any soldiers on our lands. And then they still did it, you know?
Yeah.
Of course you did, you bunch of fucking hippies. And that's exactly what happens. Hippies get fucking stomped on.
So
what did you learn from World War I? Nothing?
Well, nothing. We can still get screwed over.
Speak softly, but carry a clobber, Meister.
I thought we were brothers. We were brothers.
No surprise. A fucking country built on dikes ends up getting fucked.
That's something I wanted to ask you.
I don't even know if they would survive. If they would survive the Third World War. I mean, geez, man, we have a good army. I mean, I wouldn't deny that. We have good soldiers. It's not the model. It's not the model.
They go home on weekends.
It's probably the leadership. It's probably the leadership and stuff that goes bad.
But couldn't you flood the city, put up the bubble shield, and release the Kraken?
We were in
power not to mess with once. Once we were in power not to mess with.
They gave Great Britain freaking William of Orange. Everything should be fine, right? It's all equal now. Exactly. It's all good.
Yeah, but they got kicked out.
Oh, great story time, son.
Yeah, but I mean, look, the Dutch. You went out and you had a chat. You had a good crack at it. You tried to build an empire.
Yeah,
it's all right. You tried. Bless you.
Yeah.
So the French and the Portuguese.
I don't know what to say anymore about the Dutch. No, it's just a little bit.
Pepe.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did hear from somewhere that Holland is actually somewhat below sea level for the most part.
True. Yes.
It's basically the entire country is a feat of engineering.
Yeah, well, not entirely. There are higher parts in the east of the Netherlands, and actually North Holland and South Holland are actually the lowest points. And we filled some places up. Indeed, in Flevoland, for example, that was a sea. There was a sea before Flevoland existed. There was a sea. It was called IJssel, and now it's not a sea anymore. We actually filled it up with sand and stuff, and parts of Zeeland, Sealand actually. Figure out why New Zealand, for example, is called New Zealand. It's because the Dutch went there and they said, oh, that's New Zealand.
If you would have been working on filling it up with Germans, things would have been so much better.
What's crazy, boys? The crazy thing is that most Dutch people are German descended.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but so are British. We're Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not.
Well, you're not, but God
but then you're not.
No,
I'm not Saxon. Irish, Scottish, and
you're Scottish. Are you not Anglo-Saxon?
Part Irish, part Scottish, and part that other Celtic country, which I'm not going to mention because too many sheep.
Wales. Oh my God, you are Welsh. Oh my God, he's a fucking sheep shagger.
A quarter.
I think Scottish people are awesome, but you shouldn't leave. You shouldn't leave the United Kingdom, man.
I'm not Scottish myself. I'm English, but that's my answer.
Oh, you're English. Oh,
no,
I don't have an Anglo accent in me.
I'm confused.
The UK is very confusing. It has its own very unique history.
Means your backyard.
Yeah, but because we're an island, with England, Scotland, Wales, and
isolated.
An island, so there was a lot of interbreeding. That's the teeth.
You're great people. Don't worry about it.
There are genetic markers that only occur in populations in the British Isles. They don't occur in Europe.
Absolutely. That's why they found that we have been the least diverse country in Europe in terms of interbreeding, because we are. I mean, of course we are.
You are a kingdom.
I mean, people going,
you are a kingdom.
They are conquered. Exactly. They are a conquered people. They were conquered by the Romans. They were conquered by the Vikings.
Whatever they have.
But we're also Canada too.
but the thing is, we're also we weren't conquerors. We were developers.
That too. Developers, conquerors, and colonizers. Yeah. That's what you were. You guys were.
So we can be we can be many things.
Yeah, it's just the interest of the West too, though. I mean, it's just where people have an interest too. That's what happened.
Right. The thing is, what MC said there. All these people came to the British Isles, to conquer us. But the reason they didn't leave it isn't because they decided they liked it here. It's because they got the shit kicked out of them so badly they couldn't get back home.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, no, we haven't been invaded for 1,000 years. No, but the point is that we just, well, when Britain decided to kind of build its, its empire, it's certainly like the Europeans. All they wanted to do was occupy their own space.
It's true,
right? We didn't try and invade Europe. When was the last time? I mean, we never invaded Europe. There was a few occasions where a king.
We got the sea. Come on, we fought for the seas. We didn't.
Yeah, but I'm saying, right? Yeah, but I mean, as all the easiest places that we could go to, right?
Yeah,
we should have just gone over and kicked the shit out of our local neighbours, right? We should have gone over to Holland and blown the shit out of you.
We did, though. We did.
No, we didn't. No, we really didn't.
I mean, never, not on land. Not on land.
No.
How many times?
Hey, Britain never ever tried to invade Europe.
Not
ever.
That's true.
Yes, you did.
The Netherlands invaded England. The Netherlands invaded England with one ship only.
No, we never tried to invade Europe. The only time that we sent any major forces into Europe has been to try and help you fuckers out once you fucked your own shit up.
It's true.
That's something I have heard throughout my school when I was in history classes, is that the United Kingdom was the major stabilizing force in European politics, even though we're not a European.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where the thanks? Nowhere.
Plus 10 diplomacy.
That's true, though.
The only thing people who are anything like us in Europe are the Dutch, because we have had a very similar history in a lot of ways. We've both been married.
Well, no, I mean the Dutch royal family and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we are family. We are literally family of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why that's why we didn't like you so much in the old days.
Yeah, that's true. We were actually like your annoying little brother. That's what we were.
Yeah. I think it was a familiarity.
Basically.
Similarity breeds contempt.
Are those our galleons? No.
You know, in fact, I think the last time that, well, I mean, there's a claim that there was.
That's a very nice Latin sail there.
It wasn't an invasion force, but there was the last force that was ever potentially classified as maybe an invasion force were Dutch, and they managed to get up the Thames all the way.
We invaded a lot of things, and I'm telling you, only to just like have it and build it as a sort of kind of little empire, so that we can have a sort of kind of interest in it as well and profit out of it as well. We went everywhere, and some of the places where we didn't want to go, UK took.
What do you mean? We didn't go. We were there way ahead.
Australia, for example.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, exactly. How fucking retarded were you? You thought it was a little island.
Yeah, well,
morons.
I mean, we thought it's so dry. It's so dry. What do we need with a red island? We don't even like red people.
So you didn't.
The only
you didn't claim it. So we did. So fuck you. You lose.
We took Indonesia. That's what we took. We took.
The only thing I've got to say about Holland, mind, is you make horrible fucking cheeses.
I think my cheese sounds delicious, especially on tosti, which is a toasted bread,
Edam is the worst cheese in the universe.
Okay, that's
I don't know.
Cool.
Anyway, what's the
you guys a monster?
Just that's cool.
Got to do with international politics.
Come on, I like Swiss cheese too, though. I mean,
who makes Limburger?
Germans.
Jesus, no.
Don't start about cheddar cheese. That's ridiculously
it's like
awful.
the Schadenfreude cheese.
That's only good on a hamburger.
Limburger. It's a definite German name.
This is all fucking.
Well, it could have been Jewish.
Retards.
Yeah, you Europeans are killing me. And I said it,
European.
Yeah, okay.
Pepe
if you could throw a rock and hit Europe, then you're European.
Yeah.
Wow, we're labeled now. We're labeled as Europeans.
I am not a European. Fuck that. Never have been, never will be.
We're going to denounce European.
No, I never was. No, it's right. I have never considered myself European. I've been on lots of holidays in European countries. I've enjoyed the hospitality of many European countries. Why the fuck would I think that I'm a European? There is no such thing as a. There is no such thing. There is no such fucking thing as a European, you retard.
Yeah,
no,
listen.
No. I'm
Are
British.
you British? Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's my
Yes.
question.
No, in
Don't
actual
worry.
fact, no. I'm English. Right?
You're English.
I am
Yeah.
English, and England is part of Britain, and Britain is part of the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom has got fuck all to do with Europe. And there is no such thing.
I know where it's coming from.
Hey, listen, Pepe, you fucking retard. Pepe, you mental queer. There is no such thing as a fucking European. You are. I mean, even you want to say. I mean, you say you're Dutch, right?
Yeah, I'm Dutch.
There is no such thing as a European. It's not like an American, right? There are French people. There are Dutch people.
But wait,
there are Danish people. There are people from
Richard
right,
Spencer might
different
disagree
countries.
with you.
No.
Holy shit!
Yeah, wait.
I don't even
give a
sure if
shit
I
what
disagree or
Richard
agree with
Spencer
him
says.
anymore.
Right, but you are you Dutch or are you European? Like, it doesn't have an identity. Are you claiming that you're part of some pseudo?
Okay, so it's okay.
Like,
It's okay for you to label all Americans Americans and not by their individual state, but we do it to you. And, oh God, cry bloody murder! I'm fucking crying in my goddamn tea, getting my crumpet wet.
No. The thing is, America. I mean, no, it's the United States. Okay, the United States. I mean, if you would prefer for me to use your fucking personal pronoun as the Republic of the United States, and I'll use that if you want. But most people recognize America as America. And the thing is, America is a homogenous, unit. It's not Europe. You think that the French and the Germans are, I mean, what, you go from, you go from, say, Alabama into Texas, that you're talking two different languages? Of course you're not. You can still communicate. You go from England to France. Good luck. You just point at things and shout at the population. You say, give me that.
Even
the oh my God, man! As a what? A queer, a retarded queer.
In the US, you cross the state border, the laws are the same.
Exactly.
You're full of shit. They are.
To an extent, yes. He's right. To a large extent, they are.
There's a larger degree of continuity.
Yeah. You cross into a different country, Europe, or a different state if you prefer. It's an entirely different set of laws.
No, it's not a state. They are countries, and they should recognize their fucking sovereignty, and they don't, and they're willing to piss it away, and then they call themselves, "I'm a European." You bag.
I mean,
trendy. Oh yeah, and you know
where
what?
it's coming from.
A united Europe.
Pissing away the respect of your grandparents and your parents and people like that who actually defended what you actually have, which is called your nation's, like that actual country that if you say I'm Dutch and you have any sense of, any semblance of respect for that.
Well,
I can't believe.
That's maybe also because my mother is Italian.
Well, Italian, exactly. Italian, not European, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I rest my case.
And that's the thing. Yeah, you can rest your case. Don't worry about it, Cabot. You were good. It's true, actually. If you think about it, you're not European. You're just where you come from. The Netherlands, where you live, where you're born. That's what you are. You're Dutch.
Exactly.
You're English.
You're
Scottish. You're Irish.
Because we want to maintain.
You're American.
Yes, we want to maintain our identity. We don't want to become a European. We don't want to become one weird homogenous blob.
We don't want to be United Europe of or some sort of fashion, something like that.
Well, you could if you wanted.
Exactly.
I mean, we could. We could.
The point.
But
all you'd end up doing. No, it doesn't all just end up as a fucking Napoleonic.
But see how it goes. We already try to unite Europe and see how it goes.
Did they, or did they just kind of start off as like a trade federation and just slowly over
federation.
time build itself up into, hey, we need an army.
France
What's the point of an army? To defend your borders.
France has repeatedly tried to unite Europe. Germany has tried it twice.
Yeah.
Okay, and even held it for a little bit.
Yes.
I thought they were doing it now.
Italy tried it. Didn't work either.
Italy did it as well.
This is the Fourth Reich. The EU is the Fourth Reich.
Spain tried it, didn't work.
No, and the thing is, and why should Britain have to be any fucking part of it? We never have been in the past. I mean, until like the 1960s, right? I mean, even in the 1700s, when Britain had the chance to, we could have gone on and, gone into Europe and fucked it up and had some adventures there. No, we said, fuck it. we're going to go off. We are going to go around the fucking Cape of Good Horn. You know, we're going to go Cape of Good Hope.
That's going there.
And we are going to go as far as we can away from Europe in order to ensure that we can end up with trade routes and things like that.
Yeah.
And so we completely dismissed Europe, and we built our empire based on everywhere apart from Europe. You know what? And yet everything we did, we got all of this wealth, and we did. And what did we have to spend our wealth on? Helping the fucking Europeans fix their fucking problem.
You know when we started settling in the Caribbean. what we should have done is we should have moved everybody from the United Kingdom to the Caribbean and moved all the natives to the British Isles.
We have parts of Caribbean too, though. Don't worry about it.
Well, does it come down to preference and weather and climate?
We got some American parts too.
Well, why would
you've got Pennsylvania.
You would have to rebuild your fucking castle and shit.
Don't worry about that. That'll be fine.
We could take them apart brick by brick. We could take them apart brick by brick, number the bricks, and rebuild them when we got there.
Nah, fuck it. We wouldn't need to. We were capable of making some new ones. That's fine. If we want one.
I mean, it's not that we did it before.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you got better insulation.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
So that actually reminded me of a video I did get to watch right before we started the show. Things that might happen by 2050. And this one, they've already started doing it. 3D printing houses. And I guess it only costs about $5,000 for a house.
It's been going on for years, mate.
What do you think? That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's been going on for years. I think that at the original time when that first got released, it's basically a 3D hose. It's like a concrete hopper above, and it's a 3D printer, like above.
Oh, I saw them using that for bridges. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been using those for years, mate. It's not new.
Well, they don't. They're not at the efficiency and speed as of traditional means yet, or at least that was about a year or two.
Oh no! Now, I mean, no. They can build literally what was it? 10 houses in a. How long was it, Mad Dog? That one.
On that video, I saw 10 houses in a day. Like they were cranking
bridges were slower.
Out.
Really?
Yeah, but those houses were pretty pokey. I mean, they were.
Well, that's the thing. Like, are they up to code? Like, what's going to happen? Isn't the house just made of plastic?
Memes. If you want good bridges
building,
memes, you got to get a fairness company to do it for you.
Well, don't get sidetracked with the bridges. Stick with the house idea, because this is a really interesting idea that could help a lot of different things. Maybe even the homeless problem. I mean, if it's so cheap to 3D print a house, couldn't that be revolutionary in itself?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Mad Dodge, when they did that calculation of the price, it was done in situ, right? They didn't include the cost of all the movement of the materials and everything else to the location. And the setup.
Raw materials.
What about those emergencies at the building disaster areas? That's interesting. It's basically a wire frame, and then they get this foam. When the foam sets, it's as hard as concrete.
Mm-hmm. Now there's loads of them. They've got those people who have used tires. You remember the garbage container?
Yeah,
he went out there and.
Yeah, isn't somebody making an island with beer cans? No, seriously, I've heard on Ripley's Believe It or Not. This guy.
I choose to believe. I now choose not to believe it.
Mad, yes, you're right. It's called Ireland.
Yeah, it's called landfill in Ireland.
I was going to say cornucopia.
But no, the 3D printing of houses, though, if you could get I mean, even if $20,000. How much is a house right now?
It depends on the property and stuff as well. And like, is that building upon the foundation, and you're still going to have like some labor and logistics to like actually fully assemble it?
Oh yeah.
Make sure you apply to different codes.
It's only putting effectively the external walls and things like that. That's
So
all it does.
exciting.
I mean, it creates the the interior walls, the exterior
Not
walls.
pumping out hardwood floors.
No,
No,
it's
you're
not
gonna have
doing
to
any
you're
of
gonna have
that.
to wire it, plumbing, and you're gonna have to do all that
Mhm.
still old school.
Yeah, exactly. So once you incorporate the cost of actually shipping the fucking 3D printing thing and then setting it up, and like I said, you look at the footprint of those houses. They're basically, I mean, they are very modular. It's very communistic. In fact, it reminds me of what they used in the Second World War for what did they used to call them? No, but the type of houses that they had, these sort of flat pack
Commie block.
houses.
Prefabs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, prefabs. That's what they used to call them. Prefabs.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a prefab.
Yeah, they were still building them in the 60s, man.
No, they have. They do the job.
It's no different than a prefab. Yeah, but it's no different than a prefab.
Yeah.
The only difference is the way you get it to location.
The only
You
problem
either-
with the prefabs is they were supposed to last a lifetime, and 20 years afterwards, the bolts that were holding the side walls on would rust away, and you'd be sitting there one morning, the side wall would fall away.
And that's what I'm saying, is that you're going to find the same thing with the
if you don't
3D.
follow good codes, that could happen anyway, Voice, because this is the argument that Joe Rogan had with Dave Rubin. He's like, oh yeah, folks will just build good houses. He's like, dude, there are some crummy people in the construction industry, and like they will cut shit, and like you don't want your fucking home burning down. So he's like, there are certain things. It's like, yeah, maybe you should actually have some level of regulation. That might make sense.
You're right, Means. I mean, how many buildings in earthquake zones have fallen apart because they've been up to earthquake spec?
Well, no, that's why it goes by the municipality and stuff, because California, dude, after, what was it, the early 90s quake there, freaking, they changed a lot of stuff because, I mean, it was horrible.
Still horrible.
Well, I mean, the original housing kind of like the building regulation that started was after the Great Fire of London, because all the houses were, Tudor houses, so they were made out of wattle and daub and lots of wood and everything else. So it all burned down. They said, and so the regulation was it's wood or brick. It's either brick or stone. No, no wood. The only wood you could use was in your for your roof.
Another thing that stopped was building houses on the bridges.
Yeah, which is a shame actually, because that was quite cool.
Wait, is that why London?
We built houses on water.
Wait. When the Great Fire of London happened, it spread across the river because of all the houses on the bridges.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but you could put a break in there.
We built houses on water.
Cabbage, talk to California about putting a small space.
I think we should have a remembrance of the Great Fire of London. Start another one.
Nah.
No.
It wouldn't work anyway, because that's the whole point. It wouldn't work. That's the problem with the regulations.
Yes.
They're actually viable.
Cabbage, yes, it would with enough fuel air bombs.
Well.
We're not raising London. We've been over this many times.
I don't want to flatten it.
The sheer fact I have to make that statement is highly concerning.
I'm sorry, I just want to decontaminate it. I don't understand why the buildings have to suffer. Because we have some beautiful effort. I mean, just dismissing again the contempt for the history and the work that was put in there by people in the 1700s.
I'm sorry, Cabbage, you're right. You're right. We'll just dose it with neutron radiation.
Look at these.
Fair enough. I'll go with that.
No neutron bombs.
Pretty darn cool.
No, they don't need neutron bombs. You just need the radiation. I mean, it doesn't last long. It kills everything in its path. And
titanium.
And excuse me while I kill my cat.
So,
MADDS, what did you say, mate?
Oh, he's showing us the homes. Those things look pretty cool.
They are.
Yeah, actually. No, he's going into the image database of the modular and like basically the 3D printed home. Actually, there's one that's like a mini.
Hang on a second. This is the problem with this. The 3D printed homes, you can make beautiful ones. Obviously, you can make anything look beautiful, right? You can. I mean, sometimes you can't polish a turd. You can't polish a turd, but you can certainly gold. You know, you can gold leaf it.
Well, you know,
But
this
at
would
the
actually
end of the
probably
day,
be better is
the
if
thing
you
is,
are on other
though,
materials.
those are not the ones where people are saying it's $5,000, right? Those fucking things are going to be ending up costing you probably about $200,000.
Well, some of the smaller ones, if you're looking at something more equivalent to a prefab, it's like they say $5,000, but if you actually take the measurements, how much in raw materials for just your lumber, your concrete, and everything would that be anyway?
You know what I'd like to buy if I won the lottery? What I'd like to buy, it's incredibly impractical, but I love the idea of it. You know those old sea forts that they've got on the south coast, like out at sea?
Well, Sealand, there was already one out there, you know that. So I know what you're leading towards.
No, I would love to live in one of them, but it'd be hugely impractical.
Well, also the government's made a law that you can't do that anymore after the Sealand thing. Once they got their, well, is it technically independent yet? I mean, it's sort of
it doesn't have a vote in the UN, but they defended their borders.
Yeah,
you guys decided not to slaughter them, so you turned around.
That's just like that bloody kids program we used to watch back in the 70s about this small bloody island off the south coast that declared its independence, Rogues Rock. That was a good show because it had been given its independence by Henry Tudor, I believe, and it just been forgotten about. So when they decided to enforce it, you had the Royal Navy tried to come and take it back and all. It's a good show, but then again, that's going back to when people actually took pride in the TV programs.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait, was
hey,
this show? Yeah.
Hey, Memes, one of your 3D printed bridges. That one's just for a bike path, but that's pretty cool looking.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, let's see how long it lasts. That's the thing. I mean, all these things look really cool.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, it's so trendy, it's so hip, and we'll get really excited.
Well, no. My big thing is with this. Cabbage. Rather than printing the whole thing, we already have certain building codes and things. No, but as far as the houses go, like, actually, if anything, having that thing on site, because one of the things you'll run into in construction is a lot of times you either run out of materials or you don't have a specific part. So then you have to have somebody go and grab the other stuff that you may need.
Bullshit means if you're on an engineering project, the parts have already, I mean, you engineer them
if things go like they're supposed to, yes.
No. Well, that's what, and then, but that's when you kind of use filler or something. But putting a 3D thing would not help in any way, shape, or form on an existing engineering program, process. Apart from
it depends on what you're doing. What happens if you just need a quick patch?
It would only cover up the fuck ups. That's all it would do.
But couldn't you move that until you could correct it, assuming it was feasible?
No, but that's what you do as an engineer. I mean, that's the whole point. You put your footings in, and then you start establishing, the bed and then you build whatever it is that you need on top of it, whether it's a bridge or whatever, and those things should have been pre-measured.
No, I'm not talking for a bridge. I'm just talking about more basic.
Burnell, well, I mean, it doesn't matter, but the idea that you can just sort of like,
I'm saying prefab a keystone and be like, this will be fine.
Yeah, right. I tell you, look, I mean, have you seen these things anyway? They look fucking hideous until, I mean, some people might, give them a bit of stucco to make them look prettier.
Dude, I'm just thinking, like, if I need a temporary wall of a certain size, it could be very useful. And
yeah, fine. Okay, you fucking call me.
No, I'm just thinking practical uses that I've actually run into.
Wait a minute, how is that being a commie, though? Because somebody has to build these gigantic 3D printers and actually create a market for them.
Wait,
it doesn't sound like communism. It sounds like capitalism.
Could I 3D print swords?
On the contrary, this is the problem. They are taking workers out of the market because they're trying to force this in. When in actual fact, you give more work to people, you give more value to people, and you give people an investment in society if they were actually building something. So you just give it to a machine. I mean, yeah, right. That's really adding to society's sense of contribution or involvement or investment in itself.
That's why I'm saying we should use the machines as basically a symbiote to basically help us for certain tasks, while not necessarily completely replacing us. Because if you just all of a sudden just printing out just a house like as it's going down the street like a freaking earth mover or something, it's like, yeah, that's a lot of jobs, man.
Yeah, I swear to God, it just never ceases to amaze me. It's like, oh, hey, look, new gadget, new shiny. It must be good. God almighty, think of the consequences. Think about the ramifications. What to mention the fact that these things are actually pretty fucking shitty to begin with. Okay, certainly not as good a quality as you would expect, like out of a brick house, and you know, I mean, something that you could
you'd
take
have to
pride
see
in.
the heat
I mean,
exchange,
what are
the
you
thermal
gonna?
retention.
Are you gonna? No, fuck that. I'm just talking about, would you take pride in some house that this looks like a turd that's been, you know, excreted from? I mean, have you seen how they build these
Price
things?
is a motivating factor in the free market, Gabby.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying about self-pride. I mean, the pride in yourself. And you're looking like, if you've got a nice brick house, or, you know, you've got, I mean, even a wooden house, right? With shingles and everything, you know, nice wooden shingles, right? Not aluminium. Well, no, I'm saying brick.
We've been doing stuff like this for a while, man. Just more of an industrial scale rather than like more of a mid-sized scale.
Fuck's sake! Every single fucking house in this country is built out of brick. Everything is built out of brick here. It's either brick or stone. You very rarely
you're smart little piggies.
Unless it's maybe a barn.
Only the modern buildings maybe
been converted. You know.
The modern buildings might have concrete and metal. In my country, at least, they have. And for the rest, the old buildings are all stone. And you know, Amsterdam is built on poles, and these poles are also wood. So can you imagine? There's also a wood part in it as well. You know, wood.
Should we
stone.
use lead lining?
Well, no, but I mean,
is that a reference to Minecraft?
Here is...
No, I'm literally saying it's like there are lead lining. They use them for X-ray rooms, but like if one of the greatest fears we have is potential nuclear fallout and stuff, like would that actually help?
I have no idea.
No, it wouldn't. No, you need about 6. Well, you need about 6 to 8 inches, I think, of lead if you want it. You'd be better off building your house under a lake.
Lead.
I think we're fucked.
No. You just build your house under the fucking lake.
So we need to invest in the boring company.
What enough?
Right, I'm going to build.
Anyway,
I want a bit to eat before I go to bed. I shall say good night to you, good people.
Yeah, good night, Batman.
Take care, mate.
Have a good person. Take care. And
Take care.
Am gone.
Wait, did he say we should make it out of aluminum?
No, this is all. But putting lead in something, no. What the fuck has a nuclear thing got to do with anything anyway? I mean, if it's a nuclear thing, why would you want to survive it?
No,
but why would you want to survive it?
Houses are not like for nuclear.
What if it was a building code and if the majority of folks actually were able to survive?
Yeah, okay, look, they fucking moan about lead paint on children's fucking toys. You think they're going to want houses built out of lead? Fucking retard. Shut up.
You could have barriers and ceramics. Oh, come on, Gabby. We have the technology.
You are so full of shit.
Just to have a reflective
layer. Just make shit up as you go along.
Do that like modern Windows.
Yeah.
Oh, you're afraid because you might actually have to research this shit, and then maybe at some point, maybe there's a hint of truth in there.
No means I actually have done the research, which is why I know you're a fucking moron.
Well, that's your opinion.
See, that's the problem. No, it's not my opinion. It's what the evidence demonstrates, you see. That's how it works. Anyway, MC, welcome back, mate.
I don't necessarily think that these 3D printed homes would be a bad thing like you do, though, Cabby. I think it could lower housing costs in the long run eventually once we get it better. Without actually trying it and building the first homes that way, you're not going to make it any better.
Oh, they already have been. I mean, this is the thing. It's not like it's a new idea. This thing's been going on for years. I remember hearing this. The first ones were built around, I think it was about 5 years ago. I don't understand why people are suddenly thinking this is a new thing. It's not new. This is
No,
not like
but
wow.
maybe the
It's
price
just
is coming down to where it's actually feasible to use the technology.
no, it's just the media, doesn't have anything else to say, and they just, rake up an old story, and just rebadge it and say, well, hey, look at, something new. It's not new. It's 4 or 5 years old.
It's recycled, but it's updated because money's been going into it.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when they,
I
said, when they put the cost that they claim and the value that they claim, and the thing is that once you do that, the amount of people that you will be putting out of work will be astonishing. So
okay, well, how about this other program being done by Tesla in LA? The tunnel car system or whatever. Have you heard about that?
the Hyperloop.
Yep.
Yes. Oh God, I am so looking forward to the Hyperloop imploding. Yes.
Well,
I'm looking forward to that.
The first one is operational now.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, did you actually see the Hyperloop tests that were going on? They couldn't even get the fucking thing to work.
I found a video of
zero vacuum.
I found a video of it on Twitter yesterday, and I shared it to Discord.
Yeah, and you know what they had to do? They had to put batteries into the actual thing. The idea was that it was meant to be able to use like a suction tube, like the old remember the things they used to use in stores? What do they call them? MC the tube. The what? Sorry,
the pneumatic systems.
Yeah, pneumatic tubes. Yeah. So the idea was you draw the air out and pull the thing forwards. So you wouldn't need any energy. You just use the natural, like pressure gradient to draw this thing forward. And they ended up actually having to use, engines inside it in order to power the fucking thing.
Well, in theory, you can do it. You just need different nodes and stuff.
No, it doesn't work.
Oh, no, they redesigned it. And they basically just have it as a, basically, it's going to be like a fancy monorail.
Monorail, fucking hell, Jesus.
I mean, Disney's had the monorail for how long?
I swear to God. I know. Well, MC, I mean, you are in the field of, science too. So, are you buying this?
Well,
are you buying the Hyperloop?
Okay, so the idea behind a Hyperloop was that it would be cost effective, and you could sit up there and use a vacuum tube, and that it would be safe, and et cetera, et cetera. The problems with it are we're not ready. We're not even close to even being able to do something like that, because from a material perspective, to create the kind of vacuum that's really necessary to make it efficient makes it useless to freaking use. All right, I mean, the power to keep the vacuum at that level, it's like, okay, then why don't you just move the vehicle? You're better off with maglev than you are with a freaking Hyperloop. Now, the Hyperloop initially was proposed to go between L.A. and Las Vegas, right, to try and reduce traffic to go from L.A. to Las Vegas. What's been built is a quote-unquote proof of concept. All right, and even the proof of concept has problems. They have not successfully had a human in the thing going fully on its own and got it to work.
At least because Elon Musk doesn't want anyone to get crushed.
Yes, but the thing is, also,
Elon Musk no. Another one of these things that's a pipe dream that they got the government to waste money on. And you know what? He siphons off always siphons off a little bit of that money for himself.
Well, did he develop technology and get someone else to pay for it? Because that sounds kind of like Donald Trump.
Except he didn't develop technology. Excuse me. Oh no.
He learned stuff.
I'm not letting. No.
He learned the Hyperloop wasn't going to work now.
No, shut the fuck up, means, because this is not new technology. This stuff was actually promoted back in the 1800s as an idea. Okay, I mean, we're talking steampunk fucking tech. I mean, all he's doing is reinventing something that has been, that was being recycled over and over again. Hell, you can see it in many different sci-fi novels and things like that. This is not a new idea. He didn't invent this. He just dragged up something. And by the way,
invented the straw.
if this is going to be above ground, all it's going to take is one person to go up there and put a bullet into this thing, and you've got a catastrophic failure.
Why don't we just build?
So they're going to have to, which is why he's now doing the boring program, right? So now he's added an extra one where he's going to get additional fucking funding so he can bore through the ground. And of all the stupid places to do it, you don't do it near some place like the San Andreas Fault. The whole thing is fucking retarded.
Maybe he's an accelerationist.
It's not going to work the way they envision it. We don't have the technology. We don't have the safety procedures involved in doing this, and getting people in and out of something like that is going to be problematic. If you sit up there and put somebody in a vacuum tube for 30 minutes, okay.
Well, yeah, it's a spaceship.
You are at some point in time expecting to kill everyone in there.
Yeah, so everyone who has to get into one of these things has to wear a spacesuit.
But MC, my Futurama.
Okay, and
well, they had open air.
It's closer to people flying around on jetpacks than we are with people frickin' going through
I think you guys are misreading what I was saying. Let's hope I don't get a copyright. I'm not going to play any sound, but I am going to play a little bit of the video so you know what I'm actually talking about.
Okay. Let's see this, Mad Dodge. Let's see you attempt to play this and your computer not crash on you. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's unfortunately that happens a lot to him. Okay, so skip to where something's actually moving. Keep going.
All I'm seeing is a soy. Oh, that fucking bullshit. Oh yeah, great. So you just left a hole in the ground. You just left a hole in the air.
But it's
right? So somebody's gonna drive down that fucking hole. Yeah. What about the other cars that aren't Tesla?
Oh, it's moving fast.
They're just gonna fucking dive down the hole, right?
A guy is driving in a tube.
Look,
you're showing me a guy driving in a tube, and you're claiming this is the Hyperloop.
He's driving a Tesla really fast in a hole in the ground that's really expensive.
Well, how fast is he
looks
really
cool,
going?
Though. Say what you want, but it looks cool.
It does look cool. I don't know if he's driving or if it's an automated system.
Well, does it matter whether it is or not? It's still fucking retarded, and it's not achieving anything that it would be if you just fucking built a road above ground. It would be 1,000 times cheaper.
He created a very expensive roller coaster under LA.
Yeah. Basically. And yeah, also one that can implode.
And one that's paid for by
well, you know.
Well,
yeah. One that can asphyxiate you. How about that?
Use government money to build a toll road.
Well, no, and
actually, imagine, right?
Let me
no. Here's Mad Dog.
They canceled his second. There was another one planned for connecting Hollywood and something else. They, the city of LA canceled that contract.
Oh God, please do that. No, please do that. And I want them to all the trendies to go and use it. Because we're gonna thin out the fucking herd.
We all make mistakes. Cabbage. We have a very expensive leaky hole under the Charles River that cost us $19 billion in about 17 years, even though it's supposed to be like $3-4 billion in like 5 years.
Who was the proposer for that?
Yeah, but MC.
Hey, a good man. He meant well.
A good man, a good communist who stood up there and betrayed this country.
Oh, wait, MC. We're talking about Bill Weld?
No.
Oh, it was before Bill Weld.
No, anyway, MC, also the idea, of that video, the car goes down and it goes in a little tube and everything, but the idea is it's meant to be a vacuum tube so you can shoot through and you don't have any air friction. Exactly. How many car windows do you think could survive? I mean, I don't think they're built for International Space Stations.
No. I think that pretty much as soon as you drive into one of those things, all right, everyone else dies. You go in one end and out the other dead.
Every window would just be sucked out.
Well, how are you going to keep it pressurized? How long?
Well,
how long are you
exactly,
going to have
that's
people in these things?
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, but I mean, if the
All of
glass
them,
isn't going to
no
be,
matter how much.
All of
I mean,
it? Is that what you said?
All of it,
One
come
at a
on.
time?
Suction, man, suction. The rest
yeah,
of it is
but
suction thing, man.
do you know how thick the windows need to be on your car in order to survive a vacuum?
Maybe it depends on
we'll
how
make giant
thick the
marbles.
window is. Yeah.
Have you seen? Well, have you ever seen the International Space Station? You know, they are not using fucking car windows.
No,
Kind of windows, thick
They're not
windows. For me.
windshields.
But one of the reasons why, in all fairness, one of the reasons why they have thicker windows in the International Space Station isn't due to the internal pressure. It has to do with worrying about other things hitting the window and breaking.
Well, yeah, micrometeorites.
Radiation?
Yeah.
Like, yeah?
Not radiation.
No, micrometeorite.
You're not worried about radiation because you're still
Space
within
debris.
the Allen balance. So you're not worried about that.
Yeah.
What I think
But I mean, at the end of the day, you think, I just love to see somebody put a fucking Audi in, you know, like an Audi pressurized inside a vacuum chamber and then just take out the fucking. I guarantee you the fucker.
The other thing, of course, is that it has to be completely electrical because if you're obviously not going to use an internal combustion engine.
Well, dude, MC, imagine the irony. Elon Musk launches a Tesla Roadster into space. It crashes into one of those International Space Station windows and causes, it shows the problems with vacuum pressure.
So it only holds as long as nothing is,
Elon
crashing into it.
That Elon Musk's goal is to crash a Tesla into the International Space Station?
No, that's not his goal. I'm just saying the road to hell is paved with good consequences.
Good consequences? Yeah, okay.
Freudian slip.
He's already admitted the good consequence is wiping out the ISS.
He's babbling. He's just a babbling loon. We all know that. It's just nonsense.
That's
it's
not what I said.
There is no thought process.
They have they have locking chambers to prevent that, but it would be a demonstration. That's why I said the way I did.
Bullshit.
Okay, why I think that tunnel thing is because I watched the video with sound yesterday. Is like he says, it's a way to alleviate some of the traffic in freaking LA area.
Well, then why didn't
I think it's and I think it's all like electromagnetic or whatever.
You can use but that's not the one that he showed. That's a normal car just driving down a fucking hole.
I think it.
Right?
No, I think.
If you want to do it a lot cheaper. So you've got a car on rail, a fucking normal car on rail.
The car tires were stuck between two small slats. That's not rails.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, well, how's that any effect? That's going to fuck up your tires. Can you imagine the price of that?
It's the most expensive train car per square foot.
It's all about traction.
Burning your tires. By the time you get to your fucking destination, you're going to have to replace your tires.
But it's all about traction.
Scorched all the way down the side. But I mean, much cheaper than boring a hole through the fucking ground is to build a raised. I mean, if you need an additional, a roadway in that area, and apparently there's no space for another road, well, you can build one above.
You can build tunnels real cheap, especially if you use illegal immigrants that have come over and been captured and now have to work out their sentence for a year.
MC, that's slave labor.
Yeah, well, you did it with the Irish and China.
It seems to be a problematic part of the 13th Amendment.
They're not U.S. citizens.
Exactly, illegals.
Is that racist?
How is it racist?
No, that's not racist.
You just threw words in.
Because we're taking foreigners and making them still.
We're capturing illegal aliens.
These foreigners didn't even come the right way. If you come the right way, it's all okay. But if you don't come the right way,
all right, MC, I'm gonna play my Jew card right here and be like, as somebody with ancestors who were people from other areas that were enslaved to build things. That's not always the greatest idea.
And now you talk about my people here. The thing is,
you were enslaved. Your people were enslaved.
I have no idea. I'm just saying I'm playing the Jew.
And you're saying it wasn't a bad, it was a bad idea to build pyramids?
Well, the
Well,
pyramids are
Maddox.
very nice. They were built
No,
well.
Okay. Hey,
Maddox, would you honestly be comfortable being in one of those tubes? Like, if you, I mean, like, because I mean, the way
In
you
LA?
show it, it's just it's a normal
in LA.
car.
In LA, absolutely not. You know how many earthquakes they have? Same reason they're not building more raised freeways. No, bad idea. That being said, I am still here with all the kids and no wife, so I'm gonna end the show at 5, and it's 5. So, any final thoughts? Nope. Okay.
The fast way to get rid of Pepe. Good night.
Yeah. Later, Pepe. But, all right. Thank you. Good night. Good luck. And don't go to France unless you have a yellow vest. We're out of here. Peace.
Wait, is